Hi there, my name is Creek Stewart, and I am a survival instructor. I've been in the survival business for over 2 decades, and if you don't know already, I'm the author of 3 books around the topic of building a bug out bag. My first one was Build the Perfect Bug Out Bag. That's been a bestseller now for over 10 years, probably, roughly. And then my second one in the series was Build the Perfect Bug Out Vehicle. Then my third one was Build the Perfect Bug Out Survival Skills. So I've been studying building a bug out bag now for a long time. And I've interviewed a lot of people who have been through bug out scenarios, whether they are overseas or in North America, in the United States. I've talked to people who have evacuated due to wildfires and floods and hurricanes and tornadoes and about any scenario that you could possibly imagine. And I've learned a lot about building a bug out bag, not only through my own adventures in the outdoors and through my own survival training, but through people who have been through scenarios where they've actually needed something to get them through 3 days of independent survival. So one question I'm oftentimes asked is, well, Creek, what's in your bug out bag? And so I thought I would take 20, 30 minutes and go through just really quickly the items in my personal bug out bag. I'm not going to get into too many details because that's a really long video and another video for another day. But I thought I would just unpack my bug out bag for you right now and show you what's in there. Maybe I'll mention really quickly why on some of the items. But I think no matter where you're at in building a bug out bag, you will find this video valuable. Whether you're just beginning and you're starting to develop a list of materials, a list of items, or you are a seasoned person that has been into preparedness for a long time or into survival for a long time and you've got a bug out bag, maybe you've got several bug out bags. But regardless of where you're at in that journey, you're going to find something valuable here today. So really quickly, my bug out bag is designed for a 72-hour event. I decided several years ago to just put a really hard time stamp on my bug out bag so that I don't go down a rabbit hole of just putting all kinds of stuff in there that I don't need in a 3-day time period. So that is a really important feature to consider right off the bat is what time period are you preparing for? And so for me, for my kit, and for what I recommend, it's 3 days. That allows me to eliminate a lot of gear that I'm not going to need in a 3-day period. Could it last longer? Yes. Do bug out situations typically last longer than 3 days? No. Typically within 72 hours, someone is at a place with services or they're able to go back into their home within your average large-scale natural disaster. Okay, so that is something that you need to keep in mind right off the bat. So I'm going to move the books out of the way here, and I'm going to go straight into the bug out bag. And I'm just going to really start listing off items. You can stop and start this video and start taking notes if you want, because this is time-tested stuff here. So right out of the gate, I made the decision a long time ago that I preferred a smaller pack versus just a big bulky pack that carried everything in it. And so my bug out shelter is actually a tent that I hand carry separately. Okay, so I have a 3-person tent that I hand carry separately, and that works best for me. Okay, so I've got my bug out bag and then I've got a hand carry tent. So that is my shelter. Primarily is just a backpacking tent. I camped under tarps more than I'd like to admit in my life, and if I'm in a life-threatening bug out scenario, I don't want to be under a tarp. But when I'm camping for pleasure, in the fall and the weather's beautiful, I love a tarp. But when I'm running from a hurricane or a tornado, I don't. All right, so my bug out bag is packed pretty strategically. We've got items that I want to have easy access to in top of pack on exterior pockets. This kit right here is my stainless steel water bottle, and then inside I've got my nesting cup. I've got 40 ounces of drinking water here, and in this exterior pouch right here I've got a couple of little cooking related items. I don't do much cooking, as you'll see a little bit later. Got a spork, a little food prep knife, and a little can opener. Not going to get into a lot of detail because there's a lot of stuff in these. So in my exterior pocket here, we'll start top of pocket exterior, quick access items in exterior pocket. Got some mechanics leather work gloves. I've got some cell phone charging implements, both USB, wall charger, and vehicle charger in a little pouch. Got my headlamp, rechargeable headlamp as well. And it's also in a little case that doubles as a dome light for my tent, diffuses the light. I've got some safety glasses that can also be sunglasses, safety goggles, protect my eyes. And then in this exterior pouch, I've got 2 first aid kits. I've got what is called my level 1 kit, but then I also have my level 2 kit, which is like real serious injuries. This is just basic Band-Aids. And this one is all the tourniquets, the trauma shears, the quick clot. I've got wound irrigation. I've got an entire bug out pharmacy kit, which includes medications. Really cool kit here. I've got a very specific blister treatment kit in this first aid kit that I would love to get into detail on. I've got an eye wash system in this kit. This is the one kit. Most of my kits in my bug out bag have shrunk over the years. The more knowledge I got on a subject, let's say food or water, the smaller my kits got, right? And you probably experienced the same thing. But the opposite is true for my first aid supplies. The more knowledgeable I became on first aid, the more first aid supplies I pack in my bug out bag. In fact, my level 2, my BOFAC level 2 is my largest kit in my entire bag, okay? Which is really interesting. Used to be just like this, couple of Band-Aids, but boy has that changed over the years. A quick access pocket right there. All right, let's set this over here. All right, so outer pocket right here, we've got in the flat pocket, I have a map in there, and then I also have wipes. Okay, I've got anti-back wipes for surfaces, but I also have wet wipes for using the bathroom and cleaning. I don't carry toilet paper, I carry wet wipes instead, but you can also use these as little spit baths. All right, so that's both exterior pockets. We've got my water bottle covered. On this side right here, I'll unsnap that and pull that off. I carry my multi-tool. This is a Leatherman mutt. I always carry a multi-tool. On my belt, I've got a knife. This is just the Whiskey Camp, and huge variety of knives will work as kind of a bug out survival knife, but this would be on my belt, not necessarily in my pack. On the inside back pocket of my bug out bag, I have a 64 ounce hydration bladder. So I carry 40 ounces of fresh water plus 64 ounces of fresh water. It's almost 3 liters of drinking water, fresh, ready to drink in my kit. So top of pack, main compartment, we've got my fire kit, which includes time-tested, very specific fire starting items. Would love to dig into detail on that, but I just don't have the time. Great little fire kit. I've got my water sourcing and filtering kit, which is really simple. That kit is the Sawyer Mini. I've got four 16-ounce squeeze bags that go with that. 2 labeled dirty, 2 labeled clean. In addition to my my metal canteen, which I can use to boil. And in addition to my nearly 3 liters of fresh drinking water. Okay, food is really simple. My food kit's changed a lot in years. For food, I carry 9 Cliff Bars. 1 per meal per day for 3 days, okay? So I've got 9 of these. I've got a lot to say about food because I've got some really, I saved that for more detailed videos, but I've got some really cool food ideas and concepts that I've tested over the years. But right now my bug out bag is just 9 Cliff Bars. Got a little waterproof tools kit. In this kit I've got a whistle, a compass, some Gorilla Tape, and a notepad and a Sharpie marker. All right, digging into, this is my Hygiene kit. This is a really cool kit. This includes things like a debris mask, some insect repellent, some garbage bags, some gloves, some rubber gloves, and a couple of other really cool hygiene items. And that's just in a resealable Ziploc bag. Now we're starting to get to bottom of pack, so bulky items, and then inside of kind of back of pack, which are going to be your heavier items. Okay, so here packed on the sides, I've got, find my other one here, color-coded according to length. I've got hanks of paracord, and these are just loosely packed because I can tuck them in really easy. So I've got 4 10-footers and 3 20. I've got actually 3 20-footers and 4 10-footers, total of 100 feet of paracord. Let's see what's next here. We'll pull out my rain poncho. That's packed flat against my back. That's a vinyl rain poncho, which I would love to show you how to set this up. This is grommeted in the corners. I would love to show you how to set this up in a variety of tarp configurations, just in case something would happen to my tent, or you need to loan out a shelter, or you need just a place to cover gear. This poncho can be set up as shelters, and I would love to show you that. This is actually my sleeping pad. I've been through the paces with sleeping pads over the years. I've used things like this right here, but I just don't like how bulky they are. I've even used those inflatable ones, but I was on a camping trip one time and an ember hit my inflatable sleeping pad, and that sucker went flat and was absolutely worthless. So in an effort to save space and weight and a little bit of money, I actually use this, it's a kind of a Mylar lined bubble wrap almost. It's designed for, I've got lots of really cool different things in my pack that you may have never heard of or seen before. But this is one of them. This is actually insulation for like an attic or a garage. And I've got a 2-foot by 5-foot piece of this, and it works really, really well as a ground pad. It's indestructible pretty much, and it reflects heat both ways, against the earth and back toward my body. So it's a really, you know, figuring out a ground pad that worked for me was a real challenge, and I like how small and compact that is, and it actually makes my pack more comfortable, which is something unique. Even though I don't do any food prep in my bug out mix, I do bring these 2 plastic cutting boards. So many uses for those. I'd love to dig into the different uses for those, but they are just a variety. They can provide just a variety of clean surfaces for food prep or even first aid prep. And they're super cheap. You can get them at the dollar store for like nothing. And then in 2 Ziploc bags, I've got 2 skivvy rolls. A skivvy roll, if you don't know what a skivvy roll is or have never made one, a skivvy roll is a pair of socks. It is a clean pair of socks, a clean t-shirt, and a clean pair of underwear. So I've got 2 sets of those. Just changing that base layer of clothing makes a huge difference if you're all grimy and dirty. Very bottom of pack, I have a dry bag, which doubles as a water carrier if I needed it. But I've got a 50-degree sleeping bag, and also this little knot right here is a set of silk long johns, like a silk base layer. Can add quite a bit of more rating to my sleeping bag, but also I can quickly throw these on in a cold weather environment as well. So what else? Wow, that is all of the stuff in my bug out bag. Now, a couple little notes really quickly. All of my documents that I carry, like the birth certificate, you know, things that I grab from my safe if I've got to leave the home, I carry those in hidden sleeves. I carry cash and a drop sleeve that hangs from my belt on the inside of my pants. And then I've got just a hidden under the garment document sleeve for just irreplaceable documents in a situation like a bug out scenario. Birth certificate, social security card, passport, a couple other important documents. There's an entire list I could go through there. And there also is a USB with a bunch of scanned documents that I could potentially need. So that covers all of the things in my kit. There's an entire self-defense repertoire that I have also that I won't cover in this video. And then there is also an entire cold weather gear. I live in the Midwest, and so it's really only that cold 2 months out of the year. And so I only need cold weather gear for a 2-month time period. And I got tired of taking it in and out of my pack multiple times per year, and I didn't like how big and bulky it made my pack. So I actually keep my cold weather gear as a separate bag altogether next to my bug out bag, which is a little unconventional, but it really works for me. And there are a lot of things about my personal bug out bag that are a little unconventional, but they all come from personal experience and interviews with people who have been through bug out scenarios. I've had so many aha moments when I talk to people who have been through a bug out scenario. And there's tons of other gear that almost made the cut, have been in my bag at one point or another and didn't quite make the cut. When I packed my bag for this particular video so that I could unpack it for you, I divided everything up into 2 categories, and it's like must-haves and would like to haves. And so all of these items are really must-haves, but there's an entire set of gear and products that are would like to haves, or kind of gravy bug out bag items. So if you liked me unpacking my bag, then I have something that I think you'll really like.